In this video, if you've been struggling with actually improving in your tennis game, then what I'm going to just be explaining and walking through are 5 things that I'm doing right now because I'm kind of in the same struggle boat that you are. So, if you don't know who I am, my name's Brody Taylor. I've been working in a tennis retail store for the past 7+ years, and I can admit there's been a long time where I wasn't really playing a lot of tennis. I wasn't playing up to the level I used to. And now that my friends are getting better and a lot more people I'm playing with, they're getting better, I'm like, okay, no. I can't be left in the dust here. I need to be improving now. And so what everything I'm going to talk about here is actual things that I'm doing to help me improve, and these have worked for me. They may not necessarily work the best out for you, but I think they're definitely worth a try, especially if you're just like, I don't know what else to do. So, number one for me, and this may just be a little bit more of a haphazard of working on YouTube as well as just working where I do in the tennis retail store, is that for number one, my big thing is I now have, if I can write correctly, one racket. And that's one racket that I'm going to use and that I'm going to learn on, that I'm going to adjust to. One racket. I've tried a lot of rackets over the years. And the big thing I kept feeling recently is that because I keep trying so many different rackets, because I keep trying so many different strings, I wasn't really getting to a point where my tennis was actually improving. Yes, there were things I liked about every racket that I tried. There were things I didn't like. However, I just kind of stayed at the same baseline because I wasn't always and solely focused on getting better with any one racket in particular. And that's where I think having only one racket is going to be much more beneficial. Now, this is mainly geared towards people like me that you're playing with a bunch of different rackets or you like to switch rackets around all the time. I do too. I like playing with a bunch of different ones. It's really cool. It's really fun to see what's going on. But by doing that, I felt that I was limiting myself because I wasn't actually improving. I was just staying where I was. And if you're curious, the racket I chose to stick with and actually use is the Yonex Percept 100D. I reviewed this racket a little bit about almost a year ago, I think, on the channel. I loved it back then, and now it's finally mine. So this is the one I'm going to be using for quite a while to improve with. I liked the 100 square inch head size with a more dense string pattern. It's not as dense as an 18 by 20, but is a little bit easier to use with the 18 by 19. So that's what I really liked about it. And now, number two, that I have my one singular racket, is number two just going to be actually playing more and more matches, plain and simple. Like I said in the beginning, there was a time where I was not playing tennis as much. I still played here and there, but I was not playing matches. And as you know, being a tennis player, or if you're brand new, you will soon learn. Playing a match versus playing in practice, two completely different things. So I needed to get back into match shape. I actually just had a match this past week, the very first one since I really started like going more gung ho and being like, yes, I'm going to get better. And I gotta admit, that thing was rough because it started out, I lost the first set 3-6. Not good already. And then in the second set, we were battling against each other. We were both pretty much holding serve the entire time, but I just barely edged it out to where I won the second set 7-5. And then in the third set, we didn't have enough time to play the third set because we'd already been there for nearly an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, and we only had 2 hours. So we played a third set tiebreak, and I ended up winning that 7-1. Now, I was exhausted after that match. However, it showed me a lot, and it made me realize how just far away I had fallen, especially from when I was playing matches in high school or just playing matches a lot more consistently. And that's where number 3 in the list comes in, is what I'm doing during the match as well as after the match to help me remember what's going on. Because if you're like me And you can remember a lot of things. You can just think a lot of things as well during your match. Be like, oh, this worked here, this worked there. When I tried hitting my backhand like this, it didn't work out the best. I ended up leaving myself open. Or if I'm going up for the short ball and I'm trying to approach, then I need to adjust a bit of things here and there. You can have all those thoughts in your head, but if you don't remember them and you don't work on them, it doesn't matter. And that's where number 3 for me comes in as to what I'm doing to help me improve, and I think may help you as well, is going to be actually something that I talk about with people when they're reviewing rackets. And that is getting a notebook. So I actually got this idea from a tennis anime. Yes, I know, I watch anime. I'm a little bit of a nerd. But I was watching a tennis anime. It's called Baby Steps. And I absolutely loved that show. It was pretty amazing. Like, I started watching the anime on Easter, and I will be honest, I will admit, I watched like 16 episodes in one day. I know, not healthy, probably shouldn't have done it, but I couldn't stop myself because I was enjoying it too much. But one of the big things in that show was that the main character had a notebook that he always kept with him as he was playing tennis, and he kept it in his bag. When it was in the changeover during a match, he would write down what he was thinking, what he was feeling, different things he noticed about his opponent, and how to better go about attacking their weaknesses and attacking their defenses, as well as what their strengths were. And he also used this during his training to be like, okay, in order for me to hit this specific part on the court, this is what I need to feel. This is kind of how I feel. This is kind of how I need to get there, and everything else to do. You can also use this that I've been doing to where, especially since it is a little bit harder for me getting adjusted to the one racket as well as using one consistent string, the notebook, writing down what I feel, especially the longer and longer I play with it, this is helping me to just remember what I need to do and how I need to go and improve, because I actually have everything written down. I don't have to worry about trying to remember everything, which I can probably pretty easily forget if it's not on top of mind. So, notebook, highly recommend. I got this one for $1.25 at a Dollar Tree, and then you can just keep it in your bag with a pen or a pencil, whichever you prefer. You can write down your thoughts as you're playing and as you're getting better, so that way you can always refer back to them and know what you either needed to work on or how far you've come when you fill up a few of these, and you'd be like, wow, that's where I started. Look at where I'm at now. Kind of almost like a time capsule, which I think is cool. Now, after the notebook, you get some intel from your match. After you're playing with your one racket, you got everything, you know what you need to work on. And that's where number 4 comes in. This one's going to be a little bit more obvious, and that is just lessons. Now, this can be either from an actual teaching pro, or because it's the age of the internet, you're watching this on YouTube. There's a lot of tennis training and a lot of tennis instruction on YouTube as well that you can find to help you with pretty much almost any problem you're having in tennis. Now, I personally am going to probably prefer a little bit more of the just one-on-one with an actual coach, because I think that having that personalized interaction with someone that you do trust with your tennis game, as well as just having that relationship, is a good way to go about learning, good way to go about improving. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on having lessons with an actual teaching pro, but I will never shy away from taking a free YouTube lesson, especially from people who are a lot farther ahead of me. So lessons, very nice. You don't have to pay for them. If you do want to, that's great. But again, it's the age of the internet. You don't need to if you don't want to. So I would say definitely, once you know where your weak points are or what you're trying to improve, then find something specific for you to work on, because data don't lie. You can make sure that you know what's going on, you know what to work on, you can get better at it, rather than just trying and go blindly in without knowing and then be like, what did I actually do today that helped me at all, if it did or not. Cool. So we got one racket, matches, notebook, lessons, and then finally, number 5 is actually just going to be exercise. Of course, it's the one people don't want to do, but they say they're going to do because they're playing tennis. It's actually just exercise. Now, exercise, for me, this one became highly prevalent when I was playing that match I was telling you about, where we went to the third set, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awful. I can't believe I've let myself get to this point to where my body, my mind was sharp. Like I knew where I needed to go when I was actually playing this match. Like I could tell. It's like, all right, opponent's going for a backhand. He was actually playing with a one-handed backhand, so I was like, that's pretty cool. He's going for his backhand. It's probably coming cross court. Let's get over there. So my mind was over there. My body was dragging behind. It was not moving as fast as it needed to. And so I would get there either to the ball, I'd either get there late or I'd overrun it because I wasn't actually in position and I had started to neglect my actual physical training rather than any of my mental training of being like, oh, watching where he is, watching where the ball is going, and everything like that. So, actual exercises, whether it be in the gym or whether it be doing more cardio in order to just increase my cardiovascular health, that is going to be my fifth thing. And I think all tennis players, we can all agree, not only is it going to help us with our tennis game, it's also just going to help us live a healthier life, make sure that we do live a little bit longer so we can enjoy playing tennis a lot more and just not have to worry about too many other things going on because exercise overall is pretty great for us human beings. Gotta say, it does feel good. You've probably felt this after a good workout session on the court, whether it be you were hitting for 2 hours or you were just finishing up a very intense match. You probably felt exhausted, but you also probably felt the best you ever had before because you worked out, got some endorphins, and you're like, yes, this feels good. This is what's going on. So, those are the 5 things that I'm doing right now to help me improve at my tennis game. I hope they do help serve you as well. So, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you're doing as well to help get you better at tennis. Let me know what's going on. And if you like the video, leave a like on it. Comment down below any more questions you may have, like I just said, as well as what you're doing. I'd love to know again. And subscribe to the channel so we can grow this channel, get the information out there from the people that have it to the people that need it. And, as always, take care.